Welcome to Fifth Essentials if you're new to my channel. I hope you can hear me well. My name is Josie for you newcomers. Um, I've titled this video, Are You Letting Yourself Down? I've got you guys pointed at my little table in the living room because I'm just not in the mood to be on camera, like at all. Let me tell you my inspiration for this video. I did a lot of yard work yesterday, so I thought, allergies. Honestly, for the last few days, I've been thinking allergies have been coming and going. It wasn't really bad, it was coming and going. But even after taking Benadryl and ibuprofen last night, I realized that I'm probably like sick for real, right? Now, there's also these awesome ascension symptoms and things going on, right? This is why I always give the disclaimer, this is not medical advice. You know, go see your doctor if you think something's wrong with you, right? Now, with all of that out of the way, you know, um, I've been taking care of myself like I would normally take care of myself when I feel like germs are having a fight in my body. I've got Leaf of Life. I know how to make a good broth with you know, onions and garlic and all these herbs I got going on. I've already got a tincture that I just keep on hand. I got my reishi mushroom spores. I've been doing it all for the last day and a half now, because something wasn't right, and I let it creep up on me because I thought it was allergies. And then part of me keeps thinking that it is definitely being aggravated by the energies that are super high right now, and my body is physically changing, even if it's just from a molecular standpoint. Like, these changes are happening and they can be felt. Okay, so I just wanted to make it clear, I am definitely healing from the war zone that's going on in my body with whatever germs, even though, wow, like a whole plane, anyway, just passed over the house. Even though I'm going to be talking about ascension symptoms, because there's this sloughing off that seems to be happening right now in your body. There's this detox, there's this upgrades and changes, and then this getting rid of the material that's no longer needed process that's happening in all of our bodies right now, and it's manifesting physically as different symptoms. um so it's kind of like the inside of your body, maybe even the outside of your body. For some of you, skin is peeling and all kinds of craziness out of nowhere. um but it's a natural, your body's having to get rid of the waste. Just like if there was a construction site and they have trash cans, and they're getting all the dust and the old material out as they build the new material. That's happening in your body right now at a very rapid pace. Okay, so this is why some of you have to stop doing what you're doing. You felt called to fast. You felt called to eat more. Whatever it is your body needs right now, this is the reason why you're going through it. Okay. Um, I'm sitting here binge watching Grey's Anatomy, and I asked myself a question. I said, "Am I letting myself down?" It's so amazing. I don't know, because literally, my body hurts. Okay, my body hurts and my nose has diarrhea. Okay, um, in the midst of this, because I'm in my crybaby stage, it's when I finally admit that I don't feel well. And I'm a big baby about it because it hurts and I don't like it, right? So check this out. As I was really like allowing myself to check in with my body and I was feeling my pain and I was feeling everything, I finally took a moment and was like, okay, we're here. This is happening. Okay. You're going to feel this. You're going to feel all the way into it. And that's when the question naturally just came up. Are you letting yourself down? And to my surprise, my answer to my question was, oh no, you're doing everything that you need to be doing for yourself. And I was like, huh. I was actually surprised at my answer, right? Because when we don't feel well, it's easy to think that everything is going wrong. Especially, you want to think about how you got here. You want to think about what you could have done differently, blah, blah, blah. And none of it matters. And then I thought to myself, I said, are you delirious because of how you feel? Or is it the fact that your friends are sending you energy healing? What is it that's allowing you to be so nonchalant about the question that you just asked yourself? Are you letting yourself down? Like, is that true? Like, was that initial response the truth? And again, the same response, the same energy came through. It was expansive, it was breezy, it was not a big deal. And it was like, yeah. It's like, what more do you want? What more are you expecting? You know? So that's the process of how I got to this part, as far as, and here's another plane, you guys. This is the second plane. I literally have not heard no planes going over the house all day, but we got two of them. Anyway, this is how I came to doing this video. For those of you who might be questioning in the now if you're letting yourself down, a good way to find out if you're letting yourself down is to bring your consciousness as deep into your body as possible. Feel every physical feeling that you can feel and really like be in your body, and then ask yourself that question mentally and then see how your body responds. It doesn't matter. You can do this if you don't feel well. You can do this if you feel great. Just see how your body responds. Because I was surprised at my body's response, because I'm literally man down status right now. And my body reassured me that I am doing everything that I need to be doing. The energy in the response was expansive. It was lighthearted. It was free. It was like a huge no problem, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay. Even though I feel absolutely terrible, my body's actual response was telling me that I'm doing great and I am doing everything that I need to be doing for myself. My body is not responding in a way of lack. And I literally was mentally surprised by that. Even though my body physically feels like crap, my energy spoke to me in a way of everything's great, everything's fine. There was no need, there was no reaching, there was no anything, there was no tension. I felt the expansion in the response, and I was like, wow. So yeah, your mind will lie to you. And even though I heard and felt the truth, I still mentally was like, "Oh, something's got to be wrong. That doesn't seem right because I feel like crap and my body's telling me I'm doing great. What is this? What is this?" Right? But no, it's that biofeedback, it's that energetic response, it's that you got to feel it. It's not something you think about, and this is why your mind can mess you up. It doesn't matter how much of a mess your life is right now, or how horrible you feel, or what kind of fight for your life that you're in right now. You will always find the truth when you bring yourself into yourself and really feel for the truth energetically. Your body might move, it might twitch, it might respond, the energy might feel expansive or constrictive. Your body will react. It will tell you, hey, I need something, you know, and try not to question that reaction because it'll trip you up, right? Yeah, that's what I'm going through right now. Um, and I think the one thing for the past day and a half that I realized is that I got to stop trying to get better faster. I just got to be okay with where I am and quit trying to get better faster because I got all these things that are falling to the wayside and all of these things that I got scheduled that I have to be at, do, and all this and that. And whoever I piss off, let them be pissed. Because I don't want to prolong this. Okay, I don't want to be sick for 2 weeks when I could have only been sick for 3 days, right? Or should I say healing? I don't want to be healing for 2 weeks when I could have only had to be healing for like 3 days, right? And that's another thing. After my body told me that it wasn't coming from a place of lack and it was good, after I felt that energy, I was like, oh, right. And then I had this whole vision come to me about how expansive and joyous and productive and awesome I am when I'm feeling my best. That whole vision flashed before my eyes, and that's where my hope came from. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking awesome when I feel great. And that made it okay for me to feel bad right now. Because I know how amazing I am when I feel great. And it's exponential, the energy that I put out and the creation that I, maintain when I feel great. Compared to all of the times that I felt bad, I've always had more quality, quantity, integrity in the times that I felt joyous, expansive, healthy, great, productive. And again, that was my body speaking to me, telling me, hey, this is nothing. This is just a thing and it's temporary. You're going through it, but you got to remember this part. You've got to be focused on appreciating when you are expansive and healthy and functioning. This situation that I'm in right now is the contrast to where I want to be, right? All the time. And until I appreciate being healthy and being able to function greatly, until I show my appreciation for it, I'm not going to really be able to have a full experience of it and extend that experience. Sometimes we take our health and our abilities and all of the things that we've done for granted because we're constantly trying to do the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. We can't even enjoy the amazing things that we've created, built, that we're actively doing. We can't even enjoy the health that we have, the great feelings, the functionality. So it brings me into a deeper sense of gratitude for the version of me that is in the utmost health and expansiveness. So when I'm down, I say thank you to the part of me that is up. And I believe that's how I get through tough things just in general, not just being sick. This is how I got through, being a teen mom, being in the military, going to war, blah, blah, blah. I thought that the thing that got me through a lot of those things was thinking about someone outside of myself that I was responsible for. But it wasn't just that. It was because on an innate level, I understood. I guess it's that Scorpio moon. I understand human nature. Okay. And I understand that when you're manifesting, you're going to get everything. And you just got to focus on what it is that you want. But everything's going to come. A magnet is not going to be selective to things that are able to be magnetized. It's not. You're going to get everything. Okay? And you've got to be disciplined enough to focus on what it is that you want and not let that other stuff bother you. From a very early age, I've watched a lot of things and experienced a lot of things that I didn't want. And somehow I was able to focus and selectively choose the things that I did want. This is why I was able to break the cycles in my family and things like that, is because innately I had that gift to have an experience and decide that I didn't want it, and I did not have to have that experience for myself. I did not have to keep that experience alive. I didn't have to keep it going. I knew. Nobody had to tell me. I knew that I had other choices, even though I didn't know what those choices are. And not everybody has that particular gift. So some people do need help. They do need external sources to show them, hey, you don't have to be about this life. You can do this instead. But I just knew. I've always known that certain ways of being and loving and community and society, I knew that there was something different because I have very vivid memories of whatever past life I used to have. It was very communal. They lived off the land. It was very peaceful. I knew where I came from, and I would have bits and pieces of those memories in my dreams when I was a child. So it was very hard to get me to act like my family. I didn't agree on a soul level with a lot of things, so I was able to make different choices. Did it hurt? Was it hard? Of course. But my power was in my choice to not keep reproducing the same thing. I have a mechanism within me that says, okay, this is bad. This hurts. This is not okay. I'm responsible for making sure that this does not happen again. And that's probably my Capricorn parts right there. I take the responsibility to make sure that I am not reproducing trauma and misery. Doesn't mean that I feel like I have control over it and it's never going to happen again. It just means that my response to it is not going to be that shock and awe of the first time it comes around. And I have tools because I create my own tools. I have tools that help me when that situation does come back around. I already have an idea of how I'm going to respond to it. I'm not just flapping in the wind, being a victim to the energy. Um, duality is still very present, and you need one if you want the other. But that doesn't mean that you have to pay so much attention and give so much attention to what you don't want. You can have harmony on an axis of good and bad. You can harmonize it. Harmony is not balance. Harmony is balance in movement. Okay? When you balance something, you got two equal weights just sitting there. There's no movement. But when you harmonize, you are in a constant state of having to rebalance over and over again. So when you have an axis of good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, what you want to do is harmonize it. And if you know that harmony is constantly calibrating yourself, trying to come back to balance, even though you know it's not going to stay balanced and stay still, you've accepted that you're going to be taking the action to harmonize, because change is the only constant, right? When you accept that you're going to be taking the action to harmonize things constantly, then the bad doesn't seem so bad, even though you're still experiencing it. But when you expect balance just by itself, which is an immovable concept, that's when the bad seems to be horrible. Okay? Hopefully y'all understood that. So this is why harmonics is probably a good thing to look into. Y'all go and research yourself on harmonics and how that works. It allows for movement and change and a constant achievement of balance throughout all of that movement and change. There's a time for balance, and then there's a time to lean a little more toward the bad. There's a time for balance, and there's a time to lean a little more toward the good. The universe does what's necessary. Okay? It deals with necessity. And it doesn't mean that I'm saying you're going to go out there and do bad stuff and it's justified. No. There's an axis and there are extremes. So if you think about the bad side of the axis, bad is all the way at the end. Over there with aggression. Okay? But you need to lean a little over toward the bad if you want to assert yourself and stand up for yourself. Just don't go all the way to the end where the actual word bad is. Right? I gotta speak to the people who still think in terms of good and bad, right? And then with the good, too much good, when you're leaning over to too much good, you can end up literally tilting the scale so much that the bad just kind of plops on you, even though you're so good. You see what I mean? It'll just kind of plop on you because you're not maintaining the balance. You're not teetering to where things don't end up so extreme that you get plopped on. So I want y'all to think of the axis like a seesaw. If you got one person that is heavier than the other, your experience is going to be different from the other person's experience. If you're the heavy person, you're going to think that you're doing a lot more work than the light person, and they're going to enjoy they're going to enjoy it more on their end because they're not having to work so hard at trying to be lighter because they are lighter, right? And then on the light person's end of the seesaw, they may feel bad because they can't provide that experience for you. It's not fair, and they can empathize, they can see what's happening, you know. They're in that situation when you don't have equal weight, there's always going to be some kind of guilt, which leans on the bad side, resentment, which leans on the bad side, right? Even though the good intentions from the good side are there, what are you gonna do, right? It is what it is. And, hopefully I've explained that thoroughly because, need I remind you, I feel like crap. But it's okay because I'm healing and this is part of the process. I'm not saying shooting random videos on YouTube is part of the healing process. I mean, it can be, but I'm saying, pain and things like that is part of life. If you do this, you get that. Y'all gotta look into the universal laws. That way you don't take everything so personally. I could feel a lot worse if I had a different attitude toward what I was experiencing right now. I have grace because I understand and I have a level of acceptance. And I just love my body right now. In these moments where my body is going through some things, I think about all the things that it does for me every day. And I'm just like, it's okay to feel bad. It's okay to take a break because you do the most all the time. And I have to love on my body right now because my body is having a hard time. But it's not until you're in these situations that you stop and think, oh, snap, my body needs me, right? My body is not just something that functions and doesn't need attention, you know? So, yeah. Ask yourself if you're letting yourself down. You'd be surprised at the response that your body gives you. And for those of you who just joined me, you may want to listen to the beginning of this video. Okay? So you can use the strategy that I came up with. But I love you guys and I thank you for your great intentions and healing energies and stuff. And yeah, hopefully that helps somebody. Have a beautiful day.